Hi guys, it's Diane, Southern City girl. Well, today I'm going to make my dad's spaghetti. This spaghetti, my dad got a recipe from my uncle when he was in the Navy. And it is so good, you guys. It is a little time consuming, so I've done some things ahead of time to save time filming. And I will put the recipe down below. It's going to take me a little bit to do that. But I want to get started in this, and I want to show you guys so that if you want to make it for dinner tomorrow, you might not have time tonight because you probably will have to go out and buy some of this stuff. But I'm going to show you what I got done already. I have over here, in this pan right here, I'll bring you down here so you can see what we're doing. I have 3 large onions, and they're cut up to about that size. And see the color of them? That's the color I want to get them to before I add my garlic. Now, I'm going to bring you down here a little bit because I want to show you this. A little piece of garlic here. First you want to cut off the garlic end, that little hard end right there. We don't want that. And you're going to have 3 bulbs. That's right, 3 bulbs, not 3 cloves. And I just wanted to show you that when my daddy would slice the garlic, he insisted on slicing every little piece like this. That is so time consuming. So, what I did, and you can do it too, if you want to do it like that, it's fine. I have all of my 3 cloves, my 3 bulbs of garlic in my little food processor. Remember I used that yesterday on my bologna salad. Okay, so I'm going to pulse it about 3 times. We're going to see how we do. Okay, I'm going to go about 2 more times. Okay, 1 more. Okay, so that's about 6 pulses. So you want your garlic about this, like this. Okay, chopped like that. Then when the onions get, like I said, when your onions get to be about that brown, then add your garlic. If you add your garlic too soon, then you're going to have really burnt garlic. We don't want real burnt garlic. We want brown garlic and very brown onions. Now this might seem like a lot of onions and a lot of garlic, but trust me, the flavor that it is going to give this sauce is really, really good. No, you're not going to taste a lot of garlic. You're going to taste a lot of flavor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this around here. So mix the garlic in with the onions. And we're going to let both of them get real brown. Okay, and while they're cooking, like I said, I have 3 large chopped onions in here. You can use white or yellow. I wouldn't use red. And I have about maybe 5 or 6 tablespoons of oil in here. I'll have the recipe down below for the exact measurements. Now I'm going to show you what I did over here. While the onions and the garlic are getting brown. Okay, in my pot, now guys, normally I would cook my onions and my garlic over my stove. I don't have a stove right now. My convection oven went completely out, my convection microwave oven. So I started using my oven that is with my stove in my RV. The handle on it kept twisting and twisting around. So I couldn't use my oven. Go figure, okay? That's alright. We're going to make this work. So I have a microwave that I bought, and it's sitting on top of my stove. Now, yes, I could move the microwave if I wanted to. Okay. If I wanted to move the microwave, I could move the microwave and use my oven, but it was so much easier just to get my electric skillet out and use that for this right now. So we're going to continue to look at this. Now, while this is cooking, keep an eye, depending on how high you have it, but these don't burn. Okay, you want to keep turning it. You want them really brown, but you don't want them to burn, because then they won't taste quite right. Some people frown upon even getting the onions and garlic as brown as I do. This is the way my daddy taught me, and this is the way that I do it. Yeah, my Uncle Dick used to work in the Navy as the cook, and he made this spaghetti. Now, I don't know if my dad changed it up some and made it his own way. He more than likely, he changed the sausage brand. Maybe not. I don't really know. My daddy's not here. He's in heaven. So, I can't ask him. So, guys, Dennis, Danny, Denise, if you guys know, let your sister know, okay? Alright. Okay, guys, that's cooking up really good. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. Okay, now in this pot, what we have, and you're going to add the onions to this in a minute. I have let me get my glasses, guys, real quick. Okay, this is a 6-ounce can of Hunts tomato paste. Okay, you want the whole thing. You're going to put it in here. Then I used 1 pound, 13 ounces, or 12 ounces of Hunts tomato sauce, this size. 2 of those. 2 of these. And 1 6-ounce. Okay? Now, and then I added 2 cans of water, this size, and I added it in here. That's all that is in here right now. So while our onions, so you want to mix this really good together. While our onions, I think these might be just about done. Let me check here. Yes, we do not want these to get done anymore. Alright, so right now I'm going to transfer the onions and the garlic to the sauce. And like I said, it does look like a lot of onions. But believe me, guys, it's not. It's not too much onion and not too much garlic. This is going to be some of the most flavorful spaghetti you have ever had. It is a little time consuming. That's why I went ahead and chopped up the onions and started cooking them, because that takes a while. The longest time that you're probably going to spend on this is cutting up the onions and the garlic and waiting for the sauce to be done. Okay, so I have my onions in here. Okay. I have my tomato paste, my tomato sauce, and my onions and my garlic. I have that in here. Now, I'm going to show you what else we're going to put in here. Now, my daddy says we can only use Hunts tomato sauce. That's it. No other brand will do, guys, for the taste that you're going to get out of here. This is really good stuff. And he said the only Italian sausage links that you can use are, I don't have a picture of them right now, because they were wrapped in brown paper that I got out of the deli at Safeway. Papa Cantella Italian sausage. I have one. Usually I put 4. Let's see. Usually I put about 3 or 4 hot Papa Cantella sausages, Italian sausages, and they're pork. And 4 mild. Okay, but right now I only have 2 hot, and the rest are mild, which is just fine. We're still going to have that flavor. I put the hot in there just for just a little bit of heat, not too much heat. Okay, now for my hot, I put a toothpick right in there like that. See the toothpick? That way I know which ones are hot when they get done. So put about eight sausages in here. Okay, we have our sausage, our tomato sauce, tomato paste, and we also have our onions and our garlic in our sauce ready. Now the next thing you're going to do is about, I would say probably 1 tablespoon, one big tablespoon of garlic powder. And again, I will have the recipe down there. Now, do not use garlic salt. It will not work out with this recipe. If you follow my recipe just the way that I have it, it's going to be delicious. If you add oregano, parsley, anything like that, you are altering this recipe. It won't work, guys. I'm just telling you. It does take a little while for this, but it's worth it. And keep in mind, this is a big pot. I'm making a lot of spaghetti sauce. You can have 2 to 3 meals out of this. You can freeze the sauce. It freezes very well. Depends on how big your family is. If you're cooking for a really big crowd, this is perfect. Because we're going to add hamburger meat to it also in a little bit. Also, what I do is after we eat the spaghetti, I put the rest of my sauce in some glass jars that I have saved. I put it in the freezer and I freeze it. So that when I'm ready to make lasagna, guess what I use? Yes, I use Daddy's spaghetti sauce. It is so good the way that I make it. I've tasted it and it does taste good. I am not a lasagna eater, but I love spaghetti. Go figure. I don't know how that works. But Les and Joe like it, and that's all that's here. And that's who I cook for, is Les and Joe a lot, mainly. Okay, pepper. We've already put 1 big heaping tablespoons of garlic powder in. Remember, do not use garlic salt. No, garlic powder only. Now I have a heaping tablespoon of pepper. Now if you don't like that much pepper, don't put that much pepper in. And now we're going to use our salt. I have coarse salt here, so I'm not going to be using quite as much as I normally would because they're pretty big granules. So I would say about a tablespoon of salt. As this cooks on, you guys can taste the sauce when the sausages get done. And then you can go from there to see if it needs more salt or not. If you don't want that much pepper in, put a half of a tablespoon of pepper. Put a half of a tablespoon of garlic powder. No, I don't know. I would stay with maybe a level tablespoon of garlic powder. Because you really need that in here to get the quality of the taste. And remember, you're using Papa Cantella Italian sausage. They're pork. The only place I have found these at is Safeway, Vons, or Albertsons. I have not been able to find them anywhere else. Safeway, Vons, and Albertsons are sister stores, so that's why they have them. If you use another Italian sausage, you can, but again, it's going to alter the flavor of this particular spaghetti recipe, which my daddy learned from my Uncle Dick. And like I said, probably tweaked it for his own taste. Okay, so right now we have our tomato sauce, tomato paste, garlic powder, pepper, salt, onions and garlic, and our Italian sausages. So the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to brown some ground beef. And when I get through browning the ground beef, we're going to add it into here. I did not like ground beef in my spaghetti sauce that Daddy used to make. I like it just without meat. If you don't want any meat in it, what I would suggest that you do, cook your sauce first. Then when your sauce is done, take the sauce out that you want, and then add hamburger meat. That would be what I would suggest. I do eat it with hamburger meat now, because when Joe was making spaghetti, he would add hamburger. I just told him, just go ahead and make it however you make it. And I started eating it with meat, and the way he did it was really thick and nice. It was very good. I really liked it. So now I use hamburger meat. Okay, so I'm gonna go away for just a little bit. I'm gonna get the hamburger meat ready, and when I get it done, I'll come back and I'll show you guys. Okay, all right, we'll be back in a little bit, guys. Okay, guys, I've browned my ground beef. Now, all I had was 80-20. I had about 2 pounds of the 80-20 and 1 pound of the 96.4% ground beef. I would use as lean as you can get. If you do use like the 80, what is it, 80? What did I use there? If you do use like the 80-20, you're going to have to drain a lot of the oil off, the grease and stuff. And see, that's what I have right here. See? Well, I don't know if you can see that or not. But we don't want that in there, okay? Make sure you don't get that in the sauce. And my sauce is heating up, so what we're going to do, and this is 3 pounds of ground beef. If you do not want that much in here, that's fine. You can put 2 pounds of ground beef in here. We like a lot of ground beef. That's what we put in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add all this ground beef in here. I'm going to stir it around really good. I think I might just leave about a little bit of that out. Let me see here. No, I think we're good. Now remember, I'm going to be using a lot of this leftover for lasagna. So all of this ground beef in here is going to be really good with all the cheeses that I use. And that sauce is going to be delicious. Now, when you put the ground beef in here, it is going to change the taste of this sauce some. I think that's why I didn't used to like the ground beef in it, because it just tastes a lot better to me. It tastes a lot better without the ground beef in it. So like I said, that's up to you. Some people like ground meat in their spaghetti, some people don't. It's up to you. Okay, now look at this big old pot right here, guys. That is not too much hamburger meat at all. Not for us. And I don't think it will be for you too. Big enough to feed a big old crowd. Enough for 2 or 3 meals of spaghetti, depending on what size your family is. And also for a good sized lasagna after you eat tonight's dinner. Okay, guys, I'm going to let this cook. Now this will probably take, I'd probably say maybe 2 hours. And I have to scrape this probably every 10-15 minutes, depending on your pot, what you're going to use. If you cook it over the stove, you're still going to have to stir it. Those of you that make spaghetti, good spaghetti, you know it takes a while. You can make some really quick spaghetti with some jarred spaghetti, and you can doctor it up. I've done that before, and it's okay. But to really make a good homemade, down-to-earth, delicious, scrumptious spaghetti that you're going to want seconds on, it takes time. It takes patience. And I was going to tell you, I tried to do this in the Instant Pot because I thought that would save me a lot of time. I couldn't do it. No matter how much water I put in there to dilute the sauce so that it wouldn't stick, it still stuck to the bottom and it burnt. I could not make the sauce in the Instant Pot. So this is how I make it. I use this pot I've had for years and years and years, and it's worked great. But see, this is so far what it looks like, but it's not done. It's got to cook for about 2 hours, scraping it about every 10 to 15 minutes, which is, yes, it's tedious, but it's worth it. Okay, guys, we're going to let this cook for about 2 hours. When it's done, I'll come back and we'll plate it up and we'll taste it and we'll see what you think. Okay, so we'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, guys, my spaghetti sauce is all done. And I plated some up right here. Does that look good? Took about 2 hours to do that. And like I said, it depends on what pot you have, is how often you have to scrape it. But it took me about 2 hours to cook this. Remember, guys, really good spaghetti Takes a while. I hope you guys have a good evening. God bless you all. Always remember to be kind. Always forgive. And always remember who you are. Have a blessed week and a blessed evening. Bye-bye.